Hello students, I'm Anita Abraham, Associate Professor of English. Welcome to the English classroom. This is video number 16. Today's English lesson is from Semester 4, Unit 3 of the General English curriculum prescribed by Osmania University for students of BA, BCom, BSc and BBA. Today's topic is titled Vocabulary One-Word Substitutes. If you like my video, please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get notified of subsequent videos. Let's get started. Vocabulary, one-word substitutes. That's our topic for today. What are one-word substitutes? One-word substitutes are words that can be used to replace a group of words or even a full sentence at times without loss of meaning. So what you're doing is replacing a sentence or an expression, a phrase or a group of words with one word, and it happens in such a manner that there is no loss of meaning. That's very important. All right. So there should not be any loss of meaning when we are substituting a group of words or a sentence with a one word substitute. One word substitutes are an essential feature of vocabulary building, and they help us make our writing and our speech crisp, precise and concise. So as users of the English language, we need to make our communication effective and also, dramatic at the same time. We should exhibit our power over the language with our lexical ability. So it's very important that we use one word substitutes or a single word instead of a group of words or a full sentence, because in the process what happens is communication becomes unwieldy, it becomes garbled. So it's very useful to use one word substitutes and communicate precisely, concisely and very effectively. So the students, I would advise that you use the dictionary because that's where all the source is for vocabulary building, and you can pick up words, look up what it means and try to effectively use these words in your communication, whether it is written or spoken, so that you are replacing longer sentences, groups of words, expressions, phrases with crisp one word substitutes, and making your writing and your speaking more effective in the process. So let's look at an example to see how one word substitutes are effective in communication. For example, look at this sentence. He went to the shop to buy some paper, pens, files and pads. Is there a way we can, replace anything here so that with a one word substitute, so that the communication or what the sentence, the meaning that the sentence is trying to convey becomes more concise and more precise? So instead of some paper, pens, files and pads, we can use the word stationery, which is a one word substitute for it, and in the process the meaning gets conveyed and it is more effective and it is very concise too. He went to the shop to buy some stationery. So there is no loss of meaning. That's very important. When we are replacing a group of words or a sentence with a one word substitute, there should not be any loss of meaning. We should take care of that. So use the dictionary, build your vocabulary so that you have a plethora, you have a corpus of words to choose from to use at the right place, and make your written and your spoken communication very dramatic and effective. All right, and let's do some exercises from your textbook to help us understand how effective and useful one word substitutes are. Exercise 1 from your textbook, the task that we have to do is match the description in column 1 with their one word substitute in column 2. So in column 1 we have descriptions, a group of words or a sentence or a phrase, and in column 2 we have one word substitute, a single word that would convey the same meaning, and so we need to match it. Let's see how many words are there in column 1. We have 10 words, or do we have, no, we have 15 words we have. So 15 words we have, one words we have, and we have their description too. So let us begin the exercise and match these words. Match the description in column 1 with their one word substitute in column 2. Let's look at the first one. One who knows many languages. One who knows many languages. Before we do it, shall we just look at all the one word substitutes, so we know all the words, and then we'll try to match. The first word is valetudinarian, pessimist, altruist, polyglot, feminist, uh, agnostic, misanthrope, bibliophile, misogynist, stoic. So the 10th word is stoic. And let's look at the other words. The 11th word is hypocrite. 12th is maverick. 13th word is cynic. 14th is skeptic, and 15th is septuagenarian. Okay, so these are the 15 words, and what we will do is match the descriptions in column 1 with the one word substitute in column 2. So shall we do that? Let's look at the first one. One who knows many languages. A person who knows many language, the one word substitute is polyglot. The second one who dislikes or distrusts women. Let's look for a word for the description. One who dislikes or distrusts women. Misogynist. Okay, misogynist would be the word for describing a person who mistrusts or dislikes women. One who loves book. The third one is one who loves book. Let's look at column 2 for a word, a one word substitute. Let's go to the next slide. Yes, we have the word here, bibliophile. One who loves book is a bibliophile. So what you're doing is you're substituting a single word for this group of words, and that makes communication more effective and vibrant, and it also shows the command that you have over the language, and your lexical ability is an indicator to how comfortable you are using the language. So try to build your corpus of vocabulary by learning new words and using it appropriately in the right context. So let's look at the next one. One who is doubtful about the existence of God. One who doubts the existence of God. Let's look for a one word substitute for that. Yes, we have it here, agnostic. A person who doesn't believe in God is called agnostic. Moving on, uh, yes, the fifth one, a person who doubts accepted opinions. A person who doubts accepted opinions and viewpoints, who questions what is accepted. Okay, so let's look at a one word substitute for that. Let's look at a word for that. Yes, a skeptic. A skeptic is a person who refuses to accept, opinions and viewpoints that are generally accepted. Shall we move on? Let's move to the sixth description. One who is unaffected by grief or joy. Let's find a one-word substitute for that. And no, it's right here in the slide. The last word here in the slide, stoic. Stoic is a person who is unaffected by grief or joy. All right. Let's move to the seventh description. A person who believes that everything is motivated by selfishness. So let's look at a word for that. A person who believes that everything is motivated by selfishness. Yes, we have it here. The one word substitute would be cynic. A cynic is a person who thinks everyone is motivated by selfishness. Everything in the world is ruled by selfishness. Let's look at the eighth description. A person who expects the worst, always thinks that bad things are going to happen. Let's look for a one word substitute, and here we have it, pessimist. A pessimist is a person who thinks only bad things are going to happen. So a pessimist is a person who believes that bad things is going to happen to people and to themselves and people around them. All right. Let's look at the ninth description. One who hates or mistrusts mankind. One who hates or mistrusts mankind. A misanthrope. A misanthrope is a person who does not like the mankind, humankind, distrust them generally. Okay. The 10th description is a person who supports women's rights. Let's look for a word for that. Yes, we have it here, feminist. A feminist is a person who works for, supports women's rights. Shall we move on, students? The 11th description is a person who is overly anxious about his or her health. A person who is anxiously is always thinking about sickness, illness, about their personal health. So what is the word that would be used to describe such a person? Let's search for a one word substitution. Yes, here, valetudinarian. Okay, a valetudinarian is a person who is always concerned about their health. Okay, 12th set of description is a person who is selfless and has concern for the welfare of others. Let's look for a one word substitute for that. Yes, an altruist. An altruist is a person who is selfless and is concerned about people around them. Let's look at 13, a person who is 70 years old, who has crossed 70 in the 70s. We have it here in the same scepter coming from 17th. Okay, so you have this word here, scepter. Okay, so you have a person who is 70 years old is a septuagenarian. Okay, 14, a person who is unorthodox or has unconventional views. A one word substitute for a person with unconventional views. Let's look for a one word substitute. Here, it's right here in the slide, maverick. A maverick is a person who has unorthodox or very different from what is accepted, what is normal. Okay. 15, a person who pretends to be what he or she is not. Okay, somebody who's all the time pretending or puts on a facade, pretends to is pretentious. What is the word that you could use to describe that kind of a person? The word is here in the slide. A hypocrite. Okay, a hypocrite is a person who is pretentious and does not has a facade on, does not show their true personality or colors. Okay, so do you see how, students, we can substitute a group of words, a description, even a sentence with a single word, and that makes language very, very, interesting and vibrant. There is more clarity, there is more preciseness, and you can convey what you want to say. The meaning is, transferred very effectively in a very lucid manner. So try to use one word substitutes to become effective communicators of the language. Shall we move on to doing another exercise so that you can see how effectively phrases, expressions, sentences can be substituted by single words, their one word substitute, and you are building up your vocabulary, your lexical ability is being enhanced, and your communication is becoming more and more effective, and there is clarity and conciseness in it. All right, let's look at exercise 2. Match the description in column 1 with substitutes in column 2. A similar kind of exercise that we did. Let's see how many words are there. There are 5 on this slide, and yeah, there are 10 words. So let's first read the words, and like I suggested earlier, it's always better to use the dictionary and write down the meanings of these words. Look at the pronunciation of these words, look at synonyms of the words, look at antonyms of the words. So you're building your vocabulary, and then pick up and use the right word in the right context. All right, so let's look at these words, the set of 10 words. Reticent is the first word, soporific is the next one, fastidious, congenital, ambiguous, congenial, illegible, intelligible, ineligible, incomprehensible. So do you see these 10 words? So let's try to match the description with the one word substitute. Let's get started. The first one, open to more than one possible meaning or interpretation. That is something that can have many interpretations. So what is the word that we would use? A one word substitute. It's right here on the slide. The last word, ambiguous. Okay, vague, not clear. All right, let's look at the second description. Script or print that is impossible or hard to read. Something that's difficult to read. Can we have a one word substitute for that? Let's move on to the next slide. Yes, the word is there, illegible, not clear. Okay, illegible. Legible is clear script or writing. Illegible is not clear script or writing. Not fit or qualified. Not fit or qualified. Let's find a one word substitute for that. Yes, here it is. Ineligible. Eligible is fit or suitable. Ineligible is not suited, not fit. The fourth description is not speaking freely or openly. Let's look for a one word substitute. Yes, here it is, reticent. Reticent means somebody who's not open, who's not very free. So he's very reticent, meaning he's very closed. He's not open. Okay, so not speaking freely, openly. Okay, that the word would be reticent. Let's look at the fifth description. Capable of being understood. Capable of being understood. Let's look at the set of one word substitutes and find the most appropriate one. Let's move on to the next slide. Intelligible. Okay, intelligible, that is you can understand clearly. It is you can comprehend it. So the word is intelligible. Let's move on to the sixth description. Difficult or impossible to understand. Something that's not easy to understand. Difficult or impossible to understand. Yeah, we have it here on the slide. The last word, incomprehensible. Comprehend is to understand. Incomprehensible, unable to understand. Impossible to understand. The seventh description is causing sleep or drowsiness, something that, induces sleep or makes you drowsy. Can we look for a one word substitute that is appropriate? Here, soporific. Soporific is the word that means inducing drowsiness or sleepiness. Let's look at 8. Excessively attentive to detail. Somebody who's very, very careful of minute details. One word to describe such a person: fastidious. Okay, a person who's fastidious. Ram is very fastidious, meaning he's attentive to very small details. He makes sure that everything is in place, everything is in order, well organized. So a person who's careful about these things is called fastidious. Now let's look at the ninth description: a condition present from birth. A condition present from birth. Can we have a word describing that? Uh, yes, let's move to the previous slide. Yes, we have it here, congenital. Congenital means the condition exists from birth. Ram was born with a congenital heart condition, meaning it was there when he was born from birth. Okay, congenital. And let's look at the last description, the 10th description: pleasant and suited to one's nature. So somebody who is very pleasant, okay, and very nice to know, get along with, and the word is congenial. Okay, congenial. He has got a very congenial personality, meaning very pleasant, easygoing. So do you see, students, how the one word substitutes replaces the description without any loss of meaning? That's very, very important. There should not be any loss of meaning when you are substituting a word for a sentence or a group of words. And another thing that I want you to notice is certain words, like for example congenital here, and in the next slide congenial. They are spelt differently, they are pronounced differently, they mean different things, but if you're not very careful, you could get it mixed up. Similarly, here you have illegible, you have intelligible and ineligible, all sounding similar, but even though they mean different things, they are spelled differently, pronounced differently, but you could get confused. So it's very important that we use the dictionary, look up the pronunciation, look at their meanings, look at synonyms, antonyms. So you are, building your vocabulary. You not only learn new words, you also use new words in your communication, whether it's written or spoken, so that you are developing your communication skills. So to wrap up, let's look at what one word substitutes mean. Again, one word substitutes are phrases that replace a group of words or a full sentence effectively without creating any ambiguity in meaning of the sentence. Okay, so there is no loss of meaning. That is very, very important. For example, another word, let's look at the word autobiography can be used in place of the sentence, the life story of a man or woman written by himself or herself. So that long description is replaced by autobiography. So it becomes an effective replacement. There is no loss of meaning. Okay, that's very, very important. It is very important to read and write precisely and speak and write without being garrulous, and we must always be understood easily by all. At times we become very verbose, whether it is in speech or whether it is in writing, which is not required, and we are only going to make the what happens is we are required to talk and speak precisely. This not only makes the language easily comprehensible, but also makes it vibrant, effective, and also beautiful. The other way we can say is that these words, the one word substitutes, are used to bring out an effect of of compression. Okay, what you're doing is actually compressing. Okay, when we have to, say or write something. For example, it's a business correspondence, and then there is a limitation of time, words, and you can't have long letters. So when you're using one word substitutes, your correspondence becomes very effective. Okay, and in English language, there are a lot of single words for a group of words that can be used effectively to make your speaking and writing to the point, brief, precise, concise, without losing the meaning of the context. So develop your vocabulary and use the dictionary and imbibe the words, and also practice these words in the right context so that you become effective communicators of the language. Thank you, students. Take care and stay safe.